We've all been there. It's 2 a.m., you just finished the last page of your book, closed the cover, and now you're wrecked. Or elated, shocked, frustrated, distraught, or maybe a combination of so many emotions you can't put a name to what you're feeling.
But there's an ache in your chest, and all you want to do is turn to someone who knows what you just went through, who you can talk about that favorite scene with, swap theories about the sequel, gush over the hottie your main character landed.
You might try to explain it to your significant other, suggest the book to a colleague, or swap a couple surface-level thoughts with a friend who read it years ago. But there's no one who truly gets it. No one who will tear each moment apart with you, put it all back together, and start the next great read by your side. But what if we told you that now there's someone who will?
I'm Brooke.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Elena.
And we're the High Ladies of the Book Court. Let's read your next favorite book together.
Hi, everybody. We are here to do a book review episode of Eyes of the Grave by Chelsea Callahan, who is our first indie author that we are reviewing. All three of us read Eyes of the Grave, which I believe is Chelsea's first book, and she's written a bunch of other books too that some of us have read. But this one, I think, holds a special place in our hearts because we were asked by the author herself to read this book and help her retool it for its re-release, which the brand new cover I think just came out, so everyone should get really excited and go see that because I've got the old cover, so go find the new cover that I'm gonna have to order a copy of now. But yeah, so this is a very spoiler light episode. We don't want to ruin anything because we want to just give you our thoughts, tell you why you should love it, and then why you should go read it. So we're not gonna ruin it for you. So if you have not read Eyes of the Grave, this is totally okay. Just consider this like a super enthusiastic back cover summary and our thoughts on it. But yeah, I can kick things off and say that I really loved this book's mashup of magic being in the real world, which I thought was cool. I think it's been a while since we've read a book like that where like humans are there and then there are like creatures and magical people and they kind of stay separate, almost like a little like Harry Potter, like the muggles don't know that you exist. But I loved that, and I loved all of the romance relationshipy stuff in this book, which was my favorite part. But yeah, I think that first and foremost, I like just absolutely loved Rebecca and Jackson, who at the beginning of the book, it starts off, they are married, but they have been estranged for a while. And you learn pretty quickly that Rebecca's magic power is that when she touches someone's skin, she can foresee their death. And she says that their death can change. Like, it's not definitely that that's how they're going to die. It's just that at that moment, that's the most likely way that they're going to die. And that as you make different choices, things change. But she keeps seeing Jackson's death when she touches him. And she keeps seeing that she is the one that is going to kill him. And time after time, it doesn't change. So she basically does the thing, I don't know about you guys, but I hate when it's like, no, I must push you away for your own good. And you're like, girl, that never works. So
Never works.
This is a great story of sort of figuring out how they can go from that, which is that's where they're at, to hopefully getting back on track, which is where we all hope that they're going to get to. But yeah, I was just along for the whole ride. I don't know about you guys, how you felt about like where it started or their relationship.
I actually love how it's done. It's not something that we see a lot, like a marriage in crisis. It's not like a popular common trope.
Yeah.
Because I kept questioning, like, oh, how did they get together? But then I also wanted them to get back together too. But you can tell that they obviously care and love each other.
They definitely do. I think like one of my favorite things is in the beginning of the book, Rebecca definitely has a bit of an alcohol problem, and Jackson comes and like gets rid of all of her booze and just like is very upset that all that's in her fridge is basically like vodka and stale Chinese food, and just like clearly still cares about her, and like you know that she still cares about him too, because it's not actually that she doesn't want to be with him anymore, it's that she doesn't want to kill him and she wants to keep him safe. So just like that tension, so great. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like normally the like pushing someone away trope is so annoying, like when you already see them together. So like the fact that we start off on them estranged, I thought was nice because like not that it was nice, but like then you don't have all the like ickiness of watching them go from being really like you miss the like downfall and just get to see the reconnection.
Yeah. And I thought it was nice too, because like you do, like you can really see how they still care about each other. And like we hear little stories of like how they met in college and like how he really helped her like work through a lot of her problems. And like you see like how much they used to care about each other and how much they still do. And you're like, there's just this one little misunderstanding. Like, can we please get back to where you guys were clearly happy? So I love all the scenes with them together as they're like trying to figure out if there's still a place in each other's lives for the other person. And clearly that's complicated by the fact that, you know, we don't really know. And like Rebecca doesn't really know why it is that she's having these visions, right? So, you know, I think for me as a reader, I was like, well, clearly you're not going to kill him, but I also don't know why you're having these visions. So it's kind of cool that this is also like figuring out, you know, what do those visions mean, and how can we try to work around them? But
Yeah, I
yeah,
love the mystery of it, like with this, and then the very beginning with the murder. Trying to
yes.
figure that out. So
Right,
already, like, I'm hooked.
right. So there's
Like,
like,
gotta know how this happens.
there's like, the whole plot line, other than the romantic relationship, which is that the story starts out with Rebecca going to a cemetery, because she has heard that this woman, Nadia, who has come to her looking for help because she thinks she's being stalked, thinks she's going to be killed, and wants Rebecca's help, but Rebecca turns her away because she wants her to teach her blood magic, which is super illegal and a huge no-no. And Rebecca finds Nadia just dead in the cemetery, like brutally murdered. And she wonders if it was her. Like she is made to believe that it could have been her. So you've got a little bit of that, like really cool, unreliable narrator of like Rebecca does have an alcohol problem. She's not in the best mental state, in addition to that. So she doesn't really know if maybe she could have murdered Nadia. So it's a really interesting story to try to figure out why all of this is happening and how Rebecca is related to it all. I also just like really loved all the side characters. Like I thought it was really cool. And like there are some characters that are in there for like one scene, but they bring like a lot of really great spice. Like I was thinking of Jackson and Rebecca go to Nadia's apartment to do some like seeing if they can find some clues or whatnot. And there's just like the leprechaun landlord. And like we only see him for a hot second, but like I love him. And he was just like really well put together. And like Mateo, who's like part of Rebecca's past and like lives in like the magical lands, is a really cool character. And then I think all three of us had a mutual favorite side couple who we're really hoping is going to be a real couple eventually. Shadow and Tate.
We're rooting.
Lots of
There were some
rooting.
I think there were some cute moments between them,
Yeah.
and we would love to see more.
Yeah, and we won't say, if anything happens, what happens, but it becomes pretty clear pretty quickly that Shadow, who is Rebecca's cousin, and she's just like super badass. She's the mortician, and just like so, sassy and has such an awesome personality. And she's got like a little bit of a crush on one of Jackson's pack mates who definitely went right past that. Jackson's a werewolf.
I know, I was gonna say. By the way,
Jackson is a werewolf. Because just in case you needed to be convinced that he was really cool and worth your time. So Shadow has a bit of a crush on one of his packmates, Tate, and it seems like it's kind of mutual. And they've got like some cute banter that I had a lot of fun reading. Yeah. But yeah, I loved all the twists of this book. Like if I wasn't reading a really like heart-wrenching scene or like a scene that was just like, I don't know, just like adorable between Rebecca and Jackson, like there was just constantly something happening and I would think that I knew what was going on and then I would have no idea what was going on and then something else would be going on and it was just like, it was a roller coaster.
yeah, I think I had that experience too. And I don't know, I kept like going back and forth of what it could have been at the end. And I think I was off.
I think we threw around a lot of theories.
Yeah, I think we did. Most of them were unhinged.
We definitely threw around a lot of unhinged theories, but I think one of my favorite things is that I think Elena threw out a very unhinged theory that ended up being correct. So I will just say this book and like in the best way possible just like keeps building on itself and like the twists and turns are so satisfying that you get to the end and you're just like, I'm sorry, like what? Like where are we? And I, for one, am extremely excited for whenever there's a sequel to this book. And I know that Chelsea has a few books out that are like in the peripheral characters and like characters that are connected to Rebecca, the main character. But there's not a sequel yet, but I've heard that there will be eventually, which we're very pumped for. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
I feel like it's a super cute paranormal mystery, which is like not a genre I read all that often, but it was so refreshing just like going in and having so many, like every time you think you have it figured out, like finding a different thing you have to figure out in addition to the first thing that you still haven't figured out. Like it's not like that mysteries are being solved as more mysteries are being thrown at you.
Yeah, like I thought I had it figured out really early on, which was fine. I was like, this is great. I'm here for the relationship and like can't wait to see how this gets wrapped up. And it just kept being more and more complicated. I loved it.
It's a very accurate description.
Yeah. Because I'll say sometimes it's hard to like keep me guessing, but this book just like kept like at no point did I know what was going on.
Surprise. I'm not allowed to say anything because I was told I can't spoil things.
You can't spoil things. That would be a bummer. Like if you had a favorite slightly spoilery thing that you really loved, you could share it. And I'll
What if I
talk
said my
very
favorite-
slowly so people can stop listening if they want to.
My favorite thing is what happens at the end, which is
I don't know if that flies.
Not
No.
surprised.
I think if it's in the last 10 chapters, you're not allowed to talk about it.
but that's the biggest twist.
Right. Right. So no, we can't talk about that. You all are just going to have to read it and find out for yourselves. But yeah, this book is just chock full of like amazing side characters, really cool plot twists, and I really like the magic. Like even though blood magic was illegal, I loved that we got to see it a few times like throughout the book and like the different scenarios that Rebecca felt like it was justified to use this magic that her super weird and sadistic uncle taught her. Yeah, we don't like Victor.
It was refreshing to have a character that you don't need to wish death upon because they start the story dead.
Yeah, that was nice.
Is that
actually.
a spoiler?
It's nice.
No, that was because that's really early on. You learn that Rebecca was raised by her uncle who was dead under mysterious circumstances. Just one of the many mysteries that you're trying to figure out. But yeah, he was big baddie. But yeah, taught her blood magic and like, made her a pretty strong witch. So I guess there are some things to be thankful for. But yeah, just like really cool magic. Very cool scenes of figuring out mysteries with magic. Yeah. And who
Yeah,
doesn't
and
love a
it's also
werewolf?
interesting seeing a power that like you wouldn't want to have. Like being stuck with the ability to see how everyone around you dies just seems like a bummer.
Yeah, and I think that that comes up a couple times throughout the book that, Rebecca is, so she's a private investigator and obviously like has helped a lot of people through this power, like be able to, hopefully live better, longer lives. But yeah, just the fact that, when it comes down to it, she doesn't feel that she can still be with her husband because every time she touches his skin, like, a touch to the cheek, anything, she sees his death. And whether that's like her killing him or him getting hit by a bus, like I can imagine that that would be pretty hard. And she mentions that it's been a lot. So them trying to like figure out how to overcome that, it's hard.
We just want them to be in love and happy.
Yeah. I have to say there are some lines in this book that I just like read over and over and over again. Just like some of the things that they said to each other just was like, oh my goodness, my heart. It's just so cute. Yeah. And just Shadow like being her best friend, like, cousin, but like best friend at the same time and just like having
The
her
best
back.
sidekick.
Yeah. And just like you trust her throughout the whole thing. I think there was a moment where maybe we were like, oh my god, is it Shadow? Because like you question everything throughout this
Yeah.
book. But yeah, she's just like such a pure person that is just so good to Rebecca. Is so much fun to read.
I hope we see more of her in the second one.
Yes, Chelsea, if you're watching this, more Shadow and Tate. We can't wait. Because I will say that this book, I think like it wrapped up well. Like I wasn't like, oh my goodness, I need the next book. But at the same time, like it's not everything is wrapped up. Like there are a lot of things that are left open ended. And I definitely am very excited for another book.
Who is Bixby?
We don't know, Elena. Yeah, we can't talk about that, but
Yeah, I wasn't that like a spoiler.
it's fine.
No, it's just
It
a
was
name.
it was random enough. I'll let it slide. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot in this book. It is just like jam packed with content, and in the best way. And I can't wait for there to be more books where we can like continue to explore Rebecca and Jackson's relationship and hopefully get some more Shadow and Tate and see a lot of the other characters that brought a lot of spice to this whole world and just like get more of the world. Like I can't wait to, see more of it. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah. Any
Double
other
agreed.
thoughts on this one? Nice. But yeah,
Not spoiler free.
I know, right? Can't
we're gonna go
share.
talk about spoilers after this, but yeah, you can come join us in the Discord and chat about this book whenever. Just grab yourself a copy. It's available basically anywhere you would buy books. If I could suggest not buying it from the A place that everyone else buys their books from, it's available other places, I promise. But yeah, buy yourself a copy so you can like have it as a shelf trophy or go get it on Kindle. The ebooks are also available and it's super fun. So go read it and then tell us what you think. Elena, are you allowed to talk about what you're going to talk about?
Kindle is owned by the A place.
Oh no, the A place.
Did you not know?
If it wasn't clear that I don't e-read, it now is.
I can say it's
I
on
like
Kindle
shelf trophies.
Unlimited. For anyone who owns and subscribes to Kindle Unlimited, it's on there.
It is on Kindle Unlimited. Thank you, Jamie. But yeah, you can get this. Go get this book. Give it a read, and then let us know what you think. But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. We will continue to bring you more indie book reviews as the year continues. Bye.